And we're live. Welcome back, everybody. Let's get some music on. Welcome back, y'all. Tuesday night, a little late night stream for you all. Which is about how many hours? About 50 some hours have passed since it was discovered that nature had thrust upon us a new strategy for poly. As most of you know, we've been harping on poly for a month now. It's really just over a month old of an idea. And then ultimately, due to an inability to test an actual auction on mainnet or an actual auction on testnet, there was an issue with the processing of incoming HSIs that came in from the auction. And so poly turned into a 1.9 trillion hedron stake pool. Kind of funny now that we look back, and I was feeling like shit the last couple days, and then today I'm just like kind of like, wait a minute, so the contract failed, but now we're in this other awesome strategy. So I'm feeling better, feeling much better, and excited for the future poly. Like, this is still just what it is, even though the whole HSI part didn't work out. Still a great innovation, and it sucks that the bonuses aren't a thing, because it's just the whole as it all unfolded, like 24 hours before our issue was discovered, they discovered that issue with the bonuses in the ICOSA contract for staking, and so that would have made it even better to fall back to the current option, which is just stake the hedron, had the bonuses been around, because with 1.9 trillion hedron staked, that puts us at over 1% of the total hedron. It's like 112 trillion. So wild last couple days. But hedron is up, measured in hex, since all this, so that's a good thing. Because that's really what it comes down to, is if hedron over the time frame, over the 15-year time frame till redemption, if hedron is outperforms hex, then the bug in the HSI auction processing actually benefits. Like, it's better in that sense. So if hedron outperforms, then we'll look back on this and be like, thank God that contract didn't work. Because then it's, because basically poly was set to be like 88% hex exposure, then 12% hedron. Now it's 100% hedron staked, so hedron and ICOSA. So this will be one of the biggest earners of ICOSA, which is pretty cool. Let's see what the chat says. Who's going on chat? Francis first, thank you for your hard work, sir. Is poly going to dip more, waiting to dump a bag? Let's see. I mean, one, it's possible to predict. Two, why don't we look at this? Let's pull up deck screener. So see, invert, and then switch to price and hedron. So that's where we're at. So price is pretty stable, and here's why. So right around this time yesterday, someone put in a fat liquidity pool. I mean, look how thick this liquidity is. There's 197 billion poly and 253 billion hedron. So ever since this liquidity came in, it like every incremental order just barely moves the price. And so when we look at, let's see if we can pull it up on uniswap.info. So let's go to uniswap.info. Here, feature in poly. So look at this thick ass liquidity wall on both sides. So this is pretty much someone, let's see if we can find it. It was about a day ago. That's pretty big. Let's see. Yeah, right here. So they put in $571,000 in liquidity into this pool. Let's see who they are. They still have 122 billion hedron. Good amount of hex. See what else they have. Used to have maxi. They've got a bunch of poly that they didn't. Wow, so it's like a dominant poly person. Doesn't look like they have anything else of our stuff, but they effectively made this massive liquidity pool. And so in order for price to move up to, so right now it's at like 0.758 hedron. In order for it to move to the next tick, 7634 hedron, it needs to work through 8.96 billion poly. So each of these ticks, so if 8.96 poly, and then poly is 1.309. So one hedron is worth 1.309. So if we go 8.96 divided by 1.3, that's about 6. Each one of these like little bars, here, let's zoom in. Each one of these bars is about 7 billion hedron. And so 7 billion. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was like 2.9 last I looked. Like 20K. So to move through each one of these bars requires $20,000 of buy pressure. So that means that like to move all the way through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 200. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 300. 1, 2, 3, 4. Including this one. So about $400,000 worth of buy pressure to move us through this wall up this way. But also, you know, it requires 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So 39 times 6. 39 times 6. That's like 234 billion poly needs to be sold to move down there. So, you know, at least until this person removes their liquidity or it breaks out in one direction or the other, which probably is going to go this way. We're already more than halfway there. And like right now, the poly price is 0.75, but each poly is backed by currently 1.1 hedron and the ICOSA that it's earned in the last 3 days. So when we look at our little, we have a Dashboard here. It's earned 41,000 Icosa so far, so 41,000 over that many is how many per poly. So, but it is redeemable in that long time from now. So, not quite as urgent to just procure that immediately, but so maybe this person just thought there'd be a lot of trading, and that it would probably be within this range. They provide liquidity up to that 85, like they originally quoted, like on a downside of that issue was about 85. So it looks like they went from all the way there down to here. Maybe they thought that price would just trade a lot in this range. Now that they provide so much liquidity, they probably will for a while. So at least in the foreseeable future, we probably see 0.75 featuring poly, but that's okay. Machine, what's up? What's gonna happen with water? Guess we'll find out. Only one way to find out. This is the improving. Yeah. You can ask the executor. Only one way. It's like those funds are at their discretion. So big supply, you just think it's earning more value per poly. With that goes to the amount that's gonna cost you first. Yeah, I mean it certainly will be worth more. And who knows what types of you like. Remember when Maxi came out? It's like Maxi launched, it's awesome, great, and then Team launched, which had the effect of requiring you to own Maxi to mint Team, and then also some of the Maxi was burnt and some of it was held in escrow. Pretty cool technique to affect deflationary pressure on the token. So who knows how many poly will be left by the end. Like we've got 15 years of invention to somehow affect a massive burn on the supply. So that's one way to implement some, like a type of yield, is to just cause there to be less poly. So price value poly 0.75 feature. Did lots of people burn lots of NFT micros yield spike? I think that came from the yield that was injected into the system by the SA. X says, I like the outcome of poly better than before. Yeah, I mean, it really, like, it's still an awesome start. Like, I'm like, in general, with the whole situation, I'm more upset that I wanted to have a track record of 100% flawless operation on all of them. It's like I've launched 8 coins so far. 7 out of 8 worked flawlessly. One of them had an issue that impacted about 15% of the value, and then shifted the strategy to something that absolutely could outperform. So like that's a big reason why, and just like people, even though I tried to paint that as a realistic scenario that the executor could basically nuke the Hedron budget or just underperform otherwise, and so while people were prepared for that, it's like still people minted poly wanting to get those HSIs, and now that that's not part of it, while this still absolutely could have overperformed. I mean, that was always my biggest fear with poly in general, was that we'd get HSIs at a discount maybe, but then Hedron just pumps, and then everyone that minted poly is wrecked because Hedron went up, and then now they have the HSIs, which didn't go up as much. So in general, that was always my big concern, was just that Hedron would outperform Hex. Just like as Hedron becomes more scarce over time, at a faster rate than Hex becomes more scarce over time. And there's a lot of paper in the Hedron ecosystem. So that was always my concern. And the executor also could have simply just done nothing and turned it into a big stake pool anyways. Like, this exact outcome could have happened. Literally, the executor could have just not bid. And it would have been the same thing. So it was in there. ADC would be cool to stake poly and be able to get Hex or Echoes as yield, let the person choose when they want its yield. That'd be cool, but where would it come from? It's like that yield, especially in external tokens, has to come from somewhere. Nice background. Yeah, didn't you make this image? Just missing poly water, yeah. So we can come with an idea again. I could just bring a liquidity for each, or maybe trying to pool exercise. Well, so here's the thing. Like, I think too many people focus on the burning. It's like you don't want to be the one burning your coins. You want other people to burn the coins. So like and that's why I think people are satisfied with the result of polys, because it's like now our hedron is not being burnt. It's like everyone else's hedron is getting burnt. So, which is the ideal scenario. It's like you don't want to be the one burning. It's like that's why I think there's too many people that are really eager to stake hex max length. It's like the whales want you to do that. The whales don't want you to hold liquid. The whales want you to stake max length while they're not. And it's like you're, especially if you're under $1 million, like your burn is not affecting anything. It's only making it less competitive for whales. So I actually think that people shouldn't be so gung-ho about trying to get, like seeing burn is a good thing. Burn is good when it's other people burning. But if you're part of the burn, then it's like, okay, you're not benefiting from it. Reflections of sorts are always cool, where one token deals 2. Where you invest in maxing team, now yields multiple. Yeah, I mean, it's just, where does that come from, right? I mean, team, it's like team, it comes from another contract that produces income. So that works, but technically water's pegged to ETH. Well, it's not really pegged to anything. It's not, it's not backed by anything, not redeemable, so it's mintable with ETH. And so that kind of establishes that, but it's not so much the, not really pegged, but it could be. Like, what if the executor made a liquidity pool for ETH water and use that as, good. Completely off topic, but are you able to go over how the different periods work for diamond hands contract? What happens each period 0, 1, 2. Okay. So when you're talking periods, so the contracts themselves read periods as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And so year 1, what we call year 1 is period 0 and period 1, where period 0 is the mint phase and then period 1 is the stake phase. Then period 2 is the next mint phase, and then period 3 is the next stake phase. So there's 2 periods per year. There's a couple day mint phase, year long, or however long stake phase. So right now we're in period 1 from the diamond hands contracts perspective. And so at any time right now during period 1, you can stake your diamond. Although I did remove it from the UI because it is so far away that I didn't want people to accidentally do it without really knowing the consequence. But you can go on Etherscan and do it if you really wanted to. But if you were to stake now, you're locking in for year 3. So you don't earn anything from year 1 or period, that period 2, which is in between, but you do earn for period 3. So that's kind of how that works. It's just like you have to lock in before each odd number period starts, and then you earn, and you have to stay locked in for that whole duration to earn from that period. Also, why are there 3 separate contracts? DH reward bucket contract and distribution contract. So that is just how it works, where there's like the diamond hands contract, that's like the one that's holding the coins. Then there's the reward bucket, which is where the penalties are sent to, and then the distribution contract, and so which is like where you go and claim your rewards from. And so the way it works is that you lock your coins in the diamond hand contract, and then if you early unlock, your penalty is sent to the reward bucket. And then after each period ends, someone runs the like finalize period function, which pushes it flushes the reward bucket, sends everything in there to the distribution bucket, and then calculates how many tokens are redeemable for each token that was staked in diamond hands. And so it's just like an easy, like having the 3 contract model, just it's just like a way to segment the funds so that like where the reward bucket always starts fresh at the beginning of each new period, so that like it's easy to calculate how much went into it during that time. And then having the distribution contract as a separate thing makes it so that you can redeem your rewards at any time. And so that's why there are three contracts. It's just as a way to segment the stake of tokens versus the penalty for each period, and then the contract in which that they claim them from. Is there a way to fix block size? Nothing about Hex can change. There's really nothing that can happen at all. What do you fork in Aave? Well, hopefully Fiat gets it done. I think they will. Should. I wish it was on mainnet. Should be on mainnet. Absolutely should be on mainnet already. But, no rush. But if they don't, maybe. I'd probably if I was to fork one of those things, I would fork. I'm more into the liquidity model. I really like the concept of borrowing against something where there's not a liquidation, it's more a repossession. I like repossession loans where the lenders don't become net sellers. The lenders are basically dip buyers, where they lend funds, and then if a liquidation happens, or what would be a liquidation happens, it's actually just a repossession and the lender's possession of the collateral. I like that a lot better than a liquidation. Poly and ETH stake phase, same thing. So Poly will be staked on all chains in about 30 days. USDC, any opinions on Apple and Circle, Apple Pay, and USDC step on for crypto CBDC machine? I mean, it's like your very existence CBDC machine. Like, so I'm not too worried about CBDC stuff, so long as we still have access to our good, neutral assets on chain. Because it's like you basically already have CBDC. They can already, like, any troublesome thing that could happen with a central bank digital currency could already happen with the normal credit card system. So it's like we already have that. And it's like Apple Pay. It's like they're probably just looking for good payment rails to use, and USDC is probably a fine solution. Probably need double stake. Why fork Aave when Fiat Dio's in that? I mean, one reason would just be increased competition. Competition is good, so that'd be one reason. Oh yeah, Max Love just said that. Yeah, I would probably I would be more likely to fork Liquidity, or do something, or maybe even invent a type of advanced model, especially with the stake pool tokens, because kind of how Hedron lets you take an advance on the Hedron that you are set to earn over your stake period. The Hex stake pool tokens, so Maxi, Base Tree, Lucky Desi, those ones could have a similar model where you're effectively borrowing against your future Hex. So that's an area I'm really interested in. But I think for users' sake, it's hard to borrow, because like in that case you'd be borrowing Hex, or something to Hex, or denominated in Hex. But that's the problem. I mean, even with Hedron borrowing, or even borrowing Hex, is that if you borrow something that can go up in value, you're kind of wrecked, because like, what are you borrowing it for other than to sell it? So it's better in general to have like USDC or like dollar denominated loans, because it's like you don't run the risk of the USDC just increasing value dramatically. So Hex token, I was surfing your Discord today. Yep. Why not relaunch Poly with the fix? I would still like a derivative token with Hedron exercise t-shirts. Yeah, so I mean, I've already basically fixed it. I was actually working on it here, but I don't know, might just let this one marinate and then maybe wait for like the next big cycle. Because I mean, most of them are like, if we look at here's mainly why. It's like the opportunity kind of came past. Like, of the 300 million hex that was in these, a third of it already is gone in that first day. So that's a primary reason why I'm not so much in a rush. Maybe on the next 90-day cycle, or like the next time ICOSA goes up a lot in value and there's a whole bunch of stakes. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't necessarily think that like holding the HSIT shares, there's nothing better about the HSIT shares than just native hex stake. So like, maybe it is better that we didn't, because like in general, those HSIs are, it's like if you want more T-shares, just buy one of the pool tokens, because those ones, because the largest one of these, like 10 million principal, so bigger pays better on that, is 0.6%. So like there's no advantage to holding these HSIs. The main advantage was to be getting discounts. But you saw people, it's like every bid that the executive place just followed up instantly. So it's kind of a hard target. So I like the Hedron stake. I'm actually kind of happy that the executor didn't bluster more, or even in general, like from the start, I would have been happy with the big Hedron stake. Checked out chicken bonds today. Gonna be able to stake poly too. I mean, not for now. I mean, maybe, but it's like maybe like a diamond hands type of thing for poly. But I mean, just hold your tokens. It's already earning 2 forms of yield. Like, just hold your tokens. You don't need to always stake your coins. You can hold your coins in your wallet and just sit back. Check that out, chicken bands. What happens now? I got a couple bags of poly. Well, so right now your poly is backed by about 1.1 Hedron, and then so far the poly contract has earned 41,000 ICOSA. So every day that goes by, the ICOSA is just going to be ratcheting up, and who knows, maybe at some point there's going to be something that affects a major burn on the poly supply. So yeah, you just sit tight, and now your poly is backed by an over-collateralized Hedron stake. ICOSA stake went nuts. Yeah, oh yeah, a lot of earning. Made me want more Watsa. Could be. Missed him, but I got a couple from OpenSea. What price did you get? You should, I mean, don't dox yourself, but I'm interested in knowing what you bought those at. Polyhedron stake now will just earn ICOSA till 15 years. Yep, exactly. How many endpoints? Well, we're not in endpoint territory. We're in T-point territory. 555 T-points. So that would be 555 million endpoints. Thank God I was rich when we sacrificed. See, I'm thanking God that I actually barely sacrificed. Like, at first I was like, especially when people kept sacrificing at like 36x less rate, I was like, oh shit. Like, I should have sacrificed way more. But now looking back, I'm like, oh my God, thank God. Why couldn't you fix hex code issues and offer a mid-phase 1-to-1? Do you mean with poly? Good. And I mean, well, I almost did, but I didn't. Just because, like, honestly, now it's like nature has chosen a path for us. And so I believe that if nature, changes your course, that you should listen to what the divine spiritual energy of this universe is telling you. And the universe told us that we need to be in a Hedron stake. The universe told us 15-year Hedron long position. Do it. Right? Like, it's like it's like I'm a natural man, and nature, didn't let me to realize that when the HSIs are transferred in by the auction, that it's not done through the normal ERC 721 standard, which is the assumption I was under. So, me as a natural human made the incorrect assumption, and that is just nature. But also, me as the natural human also put in a fail-safe to where, in the event that the executor underperformed, that it would fall back on a big hedgeron stake. So I believe this is nature's way of telling us, hedgeron to the moon, and thus we shall stake our hedgeron. People overpaying the auction. Yeah, I mean, they're pushing it up, and yeah. Made me laugh. Chicken bonds. Yeah, I've heard of chicken bonds. I got one toasted with 30 mil and one with 50 was really good. I see though. True, it makes more sense to pull my wallet and let it collect. Yeah. Poly and pulse chain, yeah, it's gonna be cool. Hoping time spent on this pays my loss of earnings from job firing I would never have done otherwise. Damn, so he got fired. Just keep pushing forward, dude. Just keep pushing. Let's look at the prices. I mean, this is not moving. This price is not moving anywhere. We could have huge. I mean, the volume hasn't been too big, but it's just so funny that some like dumbass sold it 16.16. I'm not a dumbass. I'm the dumbass here, but like, it's just human nature. Some people panic, but it's pretty amazing that we have so much liquidity. 138K in volume. They're earning 0.3%. So the liquidity provider 0.003 times 138.23. So yeah, that liquidity provider made $400 today. Good for them. How is that skilled to use max bid on a HSI and burn 8 till you're on a small stake for yourself in the calamari? But damn. See, that exact scenario was what the whole failsafe was for. It was like, okay, what if the executor max bids on an HSI? It's like, then we like, and I was like harping on that. I was like, okay, the max downside of executor underperformance is like 88% due to the budget that was given. So like the haircut we experienced from the executor bidding on those ones until it was realized the issue, it was like well within the range of what could have gone wrong. You gotta understand, some people want to make quick dollar a minute for longer. Yeah, and what's pretty funny is that it's like just the sacred bonding energy of the universe that connects all of us, and it connects us to everything around us, including money. It's like if you crave instant wealth, you're not going to get it. But if you are just following your intuition and not putting that pressure on yourself, that's how you gain that instant gains. It's like the handful of, there have been about 3 things in crypto that have performed exceptionally well for me. So Hex, then also the hedron that came with the Hex, a thing called Socks, and a thing called Flow, which is a shitcoin that's now dead. But I experienced amazing performance. And all those things, it's like going into it, my mindset was like, probably not going to work out. Throw something in there. And it's like the things that you don't expect to be outstanding performers end up being the outstanding performers, like the life-changing performers. So I think that's, but that's something that people, I think you can only learn that on your own. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in for that quick flip. But they're they just have a smaller chance of success than others. I'll tell them the world's right. So everyone in the chat don't know staking Hedron or Nycosa only, still below stupid only. Yeah, I mean, stake Hedron or Nycosa. If Nycosa keeps its like track on the ceiling, then it's pretty good. I have discipline and patience. I'm pro on waiting. God knows what I mean with that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Me too. I feel that too. It's like, I mean, but also there's also like kind of a beginner thing too, right? Like, so I got into crypto in 2017, 2018, 2019. I was like compulsively trading, swapping in and out of stuff, like always readjusting everything. It's like now it's like for me to go and even access my keys, it's like a whole ordeal. And so like I don't even do anything, and I way outperform what I used to. So I think there's a lot of lessons to learn, but sometimes you gotta learn that on your own. Hold everything while everything dumps. Your future self is watching you, your memories, and thanking you for your smart decisions you made today. Yeah, I agree. I was following my intuition all the time, still into the mess. Yeah. Well, so I'm like that too, but I do a lot of math. I do, but I also don't like take the math too seriously. Mainly just addition, subtraction, and finding percents. I'm big on percents, but not too much like advanced like. And also, in any strategy that I implement, I make sure that it's one that doesn't require very precise timing. So, lock my poly on ledger C15. Fuck yeah, I love that. I'm not happy with the poly issue. I respect your transparency. Keep your head up while others lose theirs. Looking forward to your future project. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it sucks that it wasn't what it turned out to be, but at least that failsafe worked. Could have been a lot worse. And it's, you know, it's like what else can you do? You know, it's like, yeah, like we can be upset about it, or we just keep pushing forward. You know, now we just update the narrative, right? It's like, how many narratives has Bitcoin cycled through? Went from peer-to-peer cash to, you know, I can't even remember all the narratives cycled to, you know, payments to digital gold, for like all these different things. And you know, so it's like, okay, poly was supposed to be for HSIs, but it's like, okay, if you want liquid hex stake exposure, just go buy a perpetual pool token. That, I mean, also that was my other worry with this, is that that holding these HSIs is no better than holding a perpetual pool token. So only for the people, so like only if it could have gotten more than a discount than what is available on the existing perpetual pool tokens, and then, you know, but any premium kind of, you know, just immediately wipes that out, because like there's no advantage to holding these stakes. I mean, the whole premise of poly was trying to protect people that were going to be bidding on these solo and being stuck with hex stakes that they would be forced to sell back to Nycosa, pretty much. That was like the whole premise, which I guess still achieved that, because people that minted poly, they're at least not holding the hex, you know. So the hex stakes that could be expensive. So, you know, it definitely sucked, dude. And literally, it's a horrible feeling. It really is, to kind of let people down. Luckily, it wasn't like a full letdown. And then thank God that we're building on Hedron, which has a very benevolent source address that has basically an endless supply of Hedron, so that they can pull levers like this. So, you know, it all worked out. I'm not so happy. You know, definitely a big momentum killer. You know, it's like my reputation was kind of knocked a little bit, but in some ways, I feel like some people have more respect for me now. So I guess that's good. But I mean, regardless of that, it's like we're in such a tiny niche of a niche that I'll just keep moving forward, keep growing my audience, keep serving people, keep delighting people, keep entertaining, keep educating, you know, just keep pushing forward. Like Steve Jobs got fired from Apple. That probably felt like the end of the world to him. And then that was like time for him to reinvent. Like this was honestly, I mean, not that I would, because it's like, I'm very happy that the net effect of this issue was very small. Like all things considered, a 15% knock on like an issue, and then it still continues to work, like that's actually barely an issue. And not that I want to fail, but like, you know, wouldn't that be amazing to see how I could bounce back from like a serious failure, which I really haven't had yet. So good thing this was limited. I'm not saying I want to fail, because I obviously don't want that at all. But that would have been a good test for my resolve and my ability to keep pushing forward. And I do like testing myself. So but thanks for being with us, Doc Lover. Holly, if you're in Zen, yeah, I mean, ADC, if you have Acosta and Hadrian's takedown from day one of Acosta, would you add both or wait to maturity? I mean, so every time you unstake, you reset your stake points. And since Acosta launched, the T-share rate's gone up, I think like 6%. So you're going to get a worse rate. But if you've earned more than that many coins, then you kind of cancel it out. You'll have to calculate that. Other coins are sleepy hard in the day's work before breakfast. That's right. How long guess before Hadrian reached its ceiling price? I don't know. Tough question. Who knows? All it takes is just someone to put the bid on. But I don't know. Those bonus. See, part of me wishes that the Icosa bonus bug would have applied to the Hadrian. Like, while I definitely benefit hugely from that, I would probably prefer to taper that off. But it is what it is. It's all for the game. 17x is what trolls on Twitter say. It's a poly, but I did bit because I wanted the Hex T-share. I did because I wanted the Hex T-shares. Yeah, well, I mean, if you want the Hex T-shares, then just go buy one of the pool tokens. That's a better, more pure form and amplified version of those. So, like, there's no benefit to the HSIs. They're just normal Hex stakes, but they're smaller, so they're not getting bigger as better. So if you want T-shares, just go buy a perpetual pool token. Hello, Dipcatcher Sky here. Good to see you. Good to see you, T-Chance. Will there be a max airdrop according to your tweet at the end of the Hedge stick? Maybe. Maybe. You never know. If there was, it would suddenly appear. You wouldn't hear about it until it already happened. Because we would want people to front run, but also it may not happen. Because what if this ended up being the right call? So, and also, it's like I only personally have so much max airdrop. May not even make a difference. It would be like a call for public donation type of thing. So we'll see. I'd probably rather boost poly earners by building some benefit to poly holders into some future product, because that's like a more like sustainable way to do that. Chicken bonds, the liquidity product, Lusty, LUSD, Billis, yeah. Maybe I heard put everything into poly, 50% errors whining about nothing. I'm grateful little buyers. Yeah, I mean, some people just like to complain, and I'll be punching back. I don't really care, because nothing that an internet person says to me I take personally. Like, as far as I'm concerned, you're a bot. Like, things that people I personally know, I take seriously. But like, maybe that makes me a good fit for doing, doing this in public. It's like I'm building all this stuff in public, so I'm taking the risk in public, of something going wrong. And I do that because it's like, okay, someone on the internet says something to me, like, I don't give a shit. Truly. Like, what do I have to care about? Like, do not care. But I do engage, so it's all good. I have so much respect for you due to your honesty. Honesty is policy. Yeah, and it's like, what's there to lie about? It's not like I benefited from the fucking issue. So like, no worries, I'm just curious. Thank you for clarifying. Yeah, no expectations. I mean, poly holders have a bright future ahead of them, regardless of anything. So, if you're lucky on discount, I think not sure. Check the extra. Let's see. Look at all the tokens. This one maybe? Yeah. Little sneak peek of my Zen Mint bot that I had made, and then when I tested it, it was like a horrible deal. And then I didn't put it out because I didn't want to encourage people to do that. That's funny. I don't know where that is. Where is it? Ah, here we go. Okay, we have base almost at parity, trio at 95, lucky at 11% discount, desi at 10%, maxi holding strong. Maybe maxi benefited from the whole thing because there wasn't so much competition for another class of max length staked tokens. And then team at the lowest discount I've seen in a while. That's a good thing for team buyers. Let's see what we can pull to max with cash. Name asks the portfolio dashboard operation. So the price feeds are all fucked up. And today I was actually working on a whole revamp for pulling in price feeds. Because yeah, I mean, look, these prices are all fucked up. So that's not right. We have seen 103,000 team burnt. So that's pretty good. Yeah, the price feeds, something's wrong with my deck screener API. And so it's actually what I was working on today was I have this thing in here, just building like an API for getting these like price feeds. So I'm just creating these endpoints so I can get like directly from the source, I can pull in the different prices of the assets. So you see here, it's like hedron per poly and then poly per hedron. So next I'm going to add like hex per maxi, maxi per hex, base per hex, trio per hex, lucky per hex, desi per hex, team per maxi. So I'm going to keep rounding out my which actually, I mean, it just works. So here, look. So here, let's look up another one of our pools. So let's look at the lucky hex. So we get that, take it into this link and just replace it here and see if it works. Yep, there we go. So all it required was. So yeah, I just need to, on my long laundry list. That's what sucks about this whole thing, is that I literally spent the last like 2 weeks building tools for the executor to use bidding, like fully automated bidding strategy, really unique data analysis on the HSIs, and I literally exhausted myself doing that stuff. And now they can't bid, so it's like fuck. Meanwhile, like my whole laundry list of things to do just keeps growing. But we have that. So UFO says, I guess my final point of the bug is this: dip catcher does work for 0 nothing. Would anyone else do it for free and take the heat if things aren't perfect? Say not. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, and I mean, I'm fine taking the heat. It's like better me than anyone else. Because like I don't get discouraged. Like I don't just shut down. And like I'm very competitive too. So like feeling pressure definitely drives me. So it's all good. You ever look at different pools and dexterity with the charts you pulled up? Much from the dexterity for me. Which one are you looking at? Oh well, yeah. So for poly, for instance. So this is the default view. So first you go up here, you click invert pair, so you get poly versus hedron. So you see the pricing hedron, and then now you need to click switch to price and hedron, and then it's right there. What a wild chart. Does DC go to Yodi land? I don't know what that is. So probably not. Bet you're a middle child? No, I'm a youngest of 2. Why do you say that though? No, I'm definitely no. All my personality traits definitely match the younger child. Younger sibling traits. Let's see. Firstborn, reliable, conscientious, structured, cautious, controlling. Yeah, that's my sister for sure. Middle child, people pleaser, rebellious, friendship, social peacemaker. I mean, there's only 2 of us. Some of the other fun, loving, uncomplicated, manipulative, outgoing, attention-seeking, self-centered. Mature for their age. I've always had older friends. Always. Perfectionist? Not at all. Not at all. Conscientious? Yes. Diligent? Yes. Leader? You tell me. Oh, that's only child, not... Maybe I have more only child traits, but no, I am fun-loving. I'm not complicated. I don't know. I've been told I'm very persuasive, but also I don't. Some people are manipulative just because they love asserting power over others. I don't so much. I do like persuading others, but it's not for like assertion of power. And I'd say I'm more in service. My natural number is 8, which is service, and so I feel more in service manipulative. Outgoing. I'm pretty outgoing. It's like I'll go into a room of people that I don't know, and where everyone is, like it's sometimes tough to like. It's like you get invited somewhere where you know one person, and then that person is like with their whole friend group. Sometimes it can be kind of nerve-wracking. Like those settings, or just like go like a conference or something. It's like I'll just go and talk to anybody. So I guess outgoing, attention-seeking. Maybe I live stream all day long, but it's not so much for attention. It's like I do feel like I provide good entertainment and educational value. So it's not so much that. Self-centered, not really. I really do love others. That's what I do it for. So natural charmers with outgoing social personality, no surprise that many famous actors and comedians are the babies of the family. Young children tend to score higher on agreeableness. Also play for the spotlight with interest in it. So yeah, I mean, look at me, I live stream this whole wild adventure. Free spirit last words maybe more open to unconventional experience and physical risks. Oh yeah. Don't feel like nothing I do is important. Nah, I don't feel that at all. None of their copies is original. Nope, I feel very original. Siblings I've already learned. I mean, my sister is so way leagues greater than me that like I never even had to compare. It's just like I've always known that she's the true greatness. Least likely to swim. Yeah, I mean, I was never bad. I never really did anything bad. I've always been a really good person. That's funny. Guess you can't code and being in Yodi Land probably would make fun. What is Yodi Land? What's your primal astrology sign? Scorpio? I don't know anything beyond that. Determined, brave, loyal, honest, ambitious, jealous, secretive, resentful. And very determined. When a Scorpio wants something, they go for it and they don't hold back. Brave. There's no one better to have on your side during time of trouble than a Scorpio. They will run into danger without a second thought and are always the first to volunteer themselves for a difficult task, especially when it comes to helping friends and family. First to jump in the fray. I do feel like that. Loyal. Committed to someone or something, they stick with it. Their trust is hard to earn, but once they do trust someone, they dedicate their whole self to that person. Very loyal. I am very loyal. I mean, me and my wife have been together. We just got married 6 months ago, but we've been together for 12 years. Me and Goki have been best friends since we were 9 years old. I have a ton of friends from childhood. Like, I feel very lucky that people that have been in my, at all stages of life, I've made amazing friends, and I'm very loyal, honest to a fault, always tell the truth no matter what. Hate dishonesty in others, can't stand people who steal and cheat. They're just honest. Yeah, I mean, I do value transparency. Ambitious, known to be fierce, single-minded in achieving their goals, and they set high goals. Don't see limits in their lives, and they don't tell anyone that anything is impossible. Oh yeah, I feel that way in a big way. Negative traits, jealous. I don't know, I don't feel too much jealousy. I don't know. But everything is, I am very competitive. So maybe, I don't think my competition is rooted in jealousy. Secretive. I don't know, I can be. I mean, I'm very open. I mean, look at me here. I literally live stream myself doing all this stuff. So keep their feelings themselves, plans and ideas. I don't know. Maybe not. Resentful. I don't know. No, I don't hold grudges. I'm so forgiving. Literally. If Hitler came back from the dead and asked for my forgiveness, I'd probably say, all right, dude, I forgive you. Like, I'm probably too forgiving. Like, people could do egregious things and I probably forgive them. So I'm not controlling, like to be in control. Of fierceness and intensity means they know what's best for people in their lives. I hate being controlled. I do kind of hate being controlled. Not that like hate, because like it's like I will step up to be a leader, but also like I'm happy to follow. So I don't know. Stubborn, yeah, and I don't like. I don't know. Maybe when I was younger, I didn't really like compromise. I've grown to be more willing to prefer serious commitment. So yeah, I mean, me and my wife, we've been together for so long. You're loyal and connect with people, deep emotional. That's pretty true. Professional relationships. I mean, I'm like so unemployable, but not really. I'm a great employee. Like everywhere I've worked, everyone has literally loved me, and they are depressed when I leave. So cutting will hold back. I don't know. That's not like, at least with my last job that I worked at for like 3 years. It's like the CEO who I worked directly with. It's like, in my mind, he was so credible where I deferred to him. Like, it's like when he decided what we need to do, it's like I fully just trusted and believed in it, and then I played my role. So kind of depends the setting, and who I'm with, and with that startup, it's like, he's the founder, it's like his baby, and just me coming, because like I joined that startup after I'd shut down my own one. So coming from that perspective, like, it's like I tried to be what I wish that I had in my startup. Advice for Scorpio: nobody likes to be controlled all the time. Learn to take control in areas where you can. Focus on loosening the reins in your relationship. That's a good idea. Don't be afraid of your own emotions. Expressing emotional vulnerability can be scary. If you're an emotionally intense person and communicating feelings, yeah, I mean, I don't get too emotional. I really don't. Surround yourself with easygoing people who have a good sense of humor. We know your sense of humor can be dark, though very witty. So balance out your sharp tongue with humor. Yeah, I have a unique sense of humor. My comedic preferences are like, like I don't even tell people, because I know that most people are going to think it's horrible. So I don't even share most, like, there are comedians that I love to death and that I really don't tell anyone about. I just will listen to it on my own and laugh. Work on forgiveness. Really connect with others' universe. I don't need to work on that. I probably need to be less forgiving. Like that example I gave there is probably horrible to say. Like, if Hitler came back from the dead, I'd probably say, I forgive you. Like, just, but what I mean by that is that, like, I'm willing to forgive all because I have love for all spirits on this earth. That's really what I mean by that. Celebrate your success, but don't brag. Depend on if you keep people enough to share your success while close. Yeah, that's ambitious who have come before you. Oh God. Nice examples. Bill Gates, Hillary Clinton, and Kris Jenner are all hardworking Scorpios that have made their mark. Oh God. I'm thinking like Pablo Picasso. Who else? I don't even know. Hex loves just to look at primal Scorpio. Is your dad Michael Pena, actor? Let me see. I don't look like him, to be honest. He looks like he could be in my family. I have a big Mexican family, and he looks like he could be in it. I'm relatively new to your work, meaning I've known of but do not participate in your other pooling project tokens. I would like to know what's been on your mind for potential future projects. I want to bring back a referral program for Hex, and I'd probably bundle Hedron in there too. So a system for implementing some type of referral. That's one idea. Other stuff, I guess we'll find out. I now found myself having you live on YouTube sessions now and then in the background of my work. Yeah, I mean, the music's nice to listen to just on its own. And what I like about that is that it's like, especially when I'm just like coding, it's like I'm working, and then someone asks a question, then there'll be like a 20-minute segment of like amazing verbal content, and then continue on. So I feel like there's some scarcity to it. Like if everything was just prepared and like packaged like 15-second clips, then like everyone would have access to that information. There's like a little bit less appeal to it. But doing this way, it kind of like lets certain people in on the high value information. I personally get fried and watch these lives. Very therapeutic. Thanks. Is your sister married? I want to be in your family. I'm not going to say that. Primal astrology. All right, let's look at that. I'm a raven. Strong, curious, energetic. Those born under the sign of the raven often succeed where others fail. Their deepest desire is to overcome the odds, to triumph, and to prove themselves to the world. They're willing to give up a considerable amount of personal needs, but in return, they can use what others consider disadvantages to their advantage. That is their greatest power. I feel like that's been a core theme in my life for so long, is that disadvantages to your advantage. Oh yeah, I align with that, and I feel like that's unique. Usually when you read these astrology things, like I think it's kind of wonky, but usually it's like they're like kind of broad general traits that could basically apply to anyone based on the season, but that is unique. They're willing to give up considerable amount of personal needs, but in return, they can use what others consider disadvantages to their advantage. I feel like I've said that on stream so many times. Like, it's like when I'm faced with a challenge, it's like, how can we turn this into something that helps us? That's really important. Combination of the western sign of Scorpio and the eastern sign of the monkey. This is a highly contradictory sign in terms of its dual nature. On one hand, those born during a year of the monkey typically start out with an easy beginning of life where they are coddled, loved, and told they're special. Scorpios take much longer to come out of their shells, but where monkeys usually hit hard times in early adulthood, this prime time for Scorpio to step up and take action. There'll be something of a shift in thinking between childhood, teenage years, and early. Damn, that's true. In perspective, they realize their true power and have to decide how to best use their immense inner strength and potential. I shit you not, I actually can point to a single moment. Well, a couple of moments. One moment that really shifted my perspective when I was about like 22. Well, when I got out of high school and went to college, it's like I've always been really smart, but never focused and never cared about school. I didn't really care about anything except for like chasing tail or just bullshitting around. But when I got to college, I really shifted. But one thing in particular that I learned in college during my optical engineering coursework that truly shifted my perspective, and it's something that like I just live with. So we are transform. This concept here, see if we can fast forward. Basically, what a Fourier transform is, you can represent any shape or any line with an infinite sum of waves. So everything that you experience is really a sum of wave forms that you can compute. And the big thing that really made me shift the perspective is that when you're doing optical physics math problems, you can't possibly compute them or even understand what's going on if you're thinking about it from your own perspective. Like you as a human, your perspective is 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time. Like we live in this XYZ world and we're passing through a timeline. So that's like our perception. But when you want to understand the inner workings of the physics of the universe, you have to flip your perspective and look at the universe from the perspective that the universe looks at itself in. Or, more specifically, like if you're trying to understand how a photon passes through a medium, you need to flip your perspective and look at the world from the perspective of the photon. And since photon is simply energy propagating through a wave, you have to think like a wave. And so what a Fourier transform is it's a way to convert the three-dimensional, converting from the spatial domain to the frequency domain. So rather than thinking about things in terms of like, a meter, you think about how many times per meter. Or instead of thinking about things in like the duration of a second, you're thinking how many times per second. So instead of like seconds, it's 1/seconds. And so learning this math like truly changed my life in a huge way. Like understanding that you can, like, if you face a problem and then you can't even fathom the problem, if you simply just shift the perspective, you take the inverse of your perspective and then solve the problem, and then take your solution and flip it back, and then now there's your solution. Like that alone was a huge shift in my worldview and how I approach the world. So that was a big moment for me that happened when I was about like 21 years old, maybe 21, 22 maybe. So that's pretty interesting that it notes there that there's a shift in thinking between childhood, teenage, and early adulthood. The shift in perspective is where they realize their true power and have to decide how to best use their immense inner strength and potential. Like their animal namesake, members of this sign are difficult to pin down. In many world mythologies, the raven spirit was considered a trickster, a sly and cunning individual who would often get what they wanted and otherwise entertain themselves through the intellectual manipulation of others. Powerful and unpredictable. These spirits often had few true followers. For most people, were wise enough to fear that which only a raven is capable of. Not necessarily a dark sign in terms of spirit or personality. Many ravens have a highly developed sense of humor and other planetary aspects in each individual's birth chart will play a major role in their direction of that person's life. Can be young, selfish, inexperienced souls or old, powerful souls. How they use their power for personal gain or to help others will be an indicator of the karmic direction of Raven's life. Compatibility, love, and friendship. Let's see what that's all about. Social relationships, the monkey shines the most, loyal, gregarious, funny. Ravens can be life of the party, or they can be self-absorbed, competitive, and negative. Entirely within each individual's ability to concentrate on the aspect of personality over another. In most cases, ravens choose who they want to spend time with and typically aren't that fond of large groups. Instead, they prefer to be big fish in a small pond. Being misunderstood, in fact, is very difficult for them to handle. How they fare in romance depends heavily on certain aspects of the birth chart, especially based on relationship and planet Venus. Rely on love and affection of others more than they think they do. Usually get their full social attention from friends, so relationships take on a different meaning to them. Even though they burn bridges, they're absolutely floored when relationships same to them. Others who burn them in relationships, not forgiven. Yada yada. Most Scorpios and monkeys will choose a path based on their own individual passions and in the aspects of the other planets on the birth chart. Signs don't strongly dictate the career choice, just personality aspects that lead to a passion, which leads to the best career choice. Those who don't have a career mind can benefit from knowing the best natural career fits for ravens in general. These include scientist, engineer, entertainer, doctor, detective. Damn, I feel like that's what I do here. Whenever they choose, they're individuals who like to be in a position of authority, or at least be a partner in a firm. They aren't fond of taking orders from others and like having flexibility to call their own shots. Choose to work alone, though their best work would be done in conjunction with others. Famous ravens. Ryan Gosling. Owen Wilson. Sammy Sosa. Tracy Morgan. Danny DeVito. Well, that was interesting. Hex Love. That was pretty cool. Thanks for sharing that. I did not know about that I'm a raven. Which is cool because like whenever I take a Harry Potter personality test, I am a Ravenclaw. when we get a meet and greet. That'd be fun. That'd be really fun. Bro, that's on point. Yeah, it definitely was. I loved all little Hex events. Yeah, we'll do that soon. Get tipsy, talk to people with iced out Hex chains don't work in a guy love. Seems to me like you're living your best Hex calling. Yeah, I mean, like I feel like my natural desire is to be in service of others, and so I do feel like I'm doing what I was put here to do. Sure, you're tired of working on airplanes. That's cool. You at least work on airplanes. Every time I get an airplane, I'm like, wow, we're living this giant tube flying through the sky. It's pretty shocking. You choose your own path in crypto for the benefit of others. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think so too. I do have a strong desire to make an impact. Because I do believe that there's true evil in this world. And the people with evil in their hearts, they're working their ass off to assert their influence. And the only way to counter that is to counter it with people with goodness in their heart and love in their heart. So I do feel a strong motivation for that purpose. When you know how airplanes are held together, it's oh god, dude, don't tell me that. Big tin can that shrink every time you go in the sky. Do they shrink because of the pressure? No, wait, there's less pressure outside. Wouldn't they expand? Why do they shrink? Save me, brother, save me. I'm not a trader. Yeah, and you shouldn't want to be a trader. You should want to be an investor. All right, you guys. I'm going to go to bed. It's great chatting with you guys. It's kind of nice to just do a stream when there's not like a pressing thing to build right now. You know, I feel like the last month has been like just trying to get everything ready, and then now it's like a downtime. So aluminum shrinks when it gets cold. Oh, that makes sense. Well, with that, TI Bland gave us some nice science lessons here, and Hex Love gave us some cool new astrology to think about. Cool stream. Reprise, yeah. All right, you guys. It's been fun. It's been good. It's been fun. What's you on Twitter? What did you see on Twitter? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Go make babies like Nate. Yeah, seriously. That's a big regret I have in life, actually. It's like I'm 30. I feel like I should have a 15-year-old right now. It's like my grandparents, they had all their, so my dad is the youngest of 5, and I'm the youngest of 16 grandchildren. He's the youngest of 5, and his mom was, I think, 19 or 20 when he was born. And just like the long, fulfilling life with children and being youthful with children, I think is important. And I feel like I've missed out on that. So I actually do have some existential dread as a result, but we will persist. Will there be a way to see the poly daily yields? Yeah, so here, let me show you before I get off. Awesome tweet there, name. It's like a work in progress of like a dashboard for this. So here you can connect, or you can just paste in your address. So you can paste it in here. This one shows so the top row shows the total right here. And then the bottom one shows your amount. So if you want if you want to check that out, you can. This is a work in progress. I'm working on like a whole comprehensive dashboard for all the assets, but for now, you can look at that and then you can see how much of the pool that you represent in terms of the staked hedron, the stake points, the total hedron, and the ICOSA yield. So take a look at that. So catch a beautiful face later. Thanks you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys, it's time for me to go. Adios, y'all. See you tomorrow. Have a good one.